Hi. This is Debbie Eno. I hope that you guys are well. Right. Today we have actually begun our half term. Next week we offer a week and talking about a well-earned week that is coming up. Teachers, you all know it, you all feel it. The teachers that in the UK that's on holidays this week. I'm not too sure the teachers internationally, but this week the teachers in schools in the UK are on holidays from Monday for a week, and oh boy, it is a well-deserved week and a real on week. Yes, people say our job is easy. It is not easy when you are making an impact on this children's life, when they come to you, as I keep saying, with a backpack of challenges, when they come to you, some of them come to you in schools, they're hungry, they haven't had anything to eat because the family have nothing to eat. So therefore you send them downstairs to the canteen, to the breakfast bar, providing the time they come in. So all these are challenges. Or, the student come into your classroom and you realize that this student is not herself. And you say, what's wrong? Are you okay? No. And the student will say to you, yes, I'm okay. And you said, no, come outside with me. And the minute that student come outside with you, burst into tears. So all of those things as educators we are having to deal with on a daily basis. And yet still, people are saying that teaching is easy. It is not easy. Not when you have to ensure that you mark the work, you prepare the work, you're a counselor, you are a mentor, you're sometimes a parent, you're a supporter, you name it, we are all of those things. And in this week, I felt I was all of those things because so many of my students seems to have some challenges in terms of, issues, sorry, anxiety. Some of them are very anxious because when they come back after half term, they've got exams, mock exams, and they need those results because some of them trying to get into medicine, some of them trying to get to Oxford and Cambridge and all of these things. So the anxiety is heavy. So when you think of that, as an educator, we also carrying it as well because we want to see our students do well. And when the students are doing exams, as if you are also doing the exams, because you wondered, I wonder how well they're doing. I wonder if they're relaxed. I wonder if they're revising enough. You have all of those things going on. So teaching is not easy, but it is fulfilling if that's the job you want to do. This week have been heavy, tiring, but you know what? It was fantastic. It's like I left my students. I was teaching year 12 and 13. I taught year 11, 12 and 13 today because yesterday year 8, 9 and 10 had to be taught online because of shortage of teachers and either teachers sick, etc., and then not enough supply teachers to support all the schools. So a decision was made to send 3-year groups home yesterday, as I said. So we had year 7, year 11, 12, and 13. Well, I don't teach year 7. So 11, 12, and 13, that was my remit today. And we have 5 lessons a day. It was, as usual, I love teaching, but no doubt it's exhausting. The school was so quiet today because the 3-year group is missing, and it makes you realize how beautiful it is to have all this, this noise going on. And when some of it is missing, you feel that the whole system is incomplete. It's amazing. It was quiet. Classrooms were empty. You kind of feel, well, I felt kind of lost in a way. Although some of this year group, the only year group I would teach is 10. But when the school is bustling with students, rushing around the corridor, and you say, stop running, it does make the school feel alive, and, there is a level of enjoyment there. Today, I was, what I started to say earlier on, I had, as I said, 11, 12, and 13, and I left my students year 12 because I had to speak to a colleague. There was, something happening. And when I came back, we're doing psychology, when I came back, it was so beautiful to see one of the students decide to take the lesson, and she was actually writing on the whiteboard, and because we're doing schizophrenia, and we did the biological explanation of schizophrenia, and it was so beautiful to watch that. I came in, but I didn't realize I was standing at the door, and they were actually discussing it. She was, she did a mind map on the board. Oh my goodness, that was so fantastic. I just stood there transfixed, and it's like one aspect of me, one part of me felt emotional, the other part felt excited. And I was there for about 10 minutes before they actually caught on, because they were all, it was a real competition. They were all answering questions. Oh my goodness, it was so beautiful. I couldn't stay out there for long. I had to go in, right? So I stayed there for about 10, between 7-10 minutes. And I went, oh, miss, we didn't even know you were there. Yes, I said, that was fantastic. It was just beautiful. So I went and sit down and then get them, let them finish. And it was just so wonderful. This is some of the aspect of teaching. When you actually realize your students have actually have that moment of understanding, because there are times you're questioning, do they understand it? Although they're giving you the answers, but you're asking yourself, how much of that answer do they really know? And when they're actually teaching each other, you know that they've actually learned it, because in order to learn something well, you need to be able to teach it to someone else. And that's what they were doing. And that was my magic moment today. That was one of it. I had quite a few. In the sociology and the other psychology, I did a quiz. Initially, I had two things planned. I was either going to do a quiz, or I was going to continue with the topic. So I gave them a choice. I usually don't give a choice, but today's the last day, so I thought, okay, if they give them a choice. They wanted to do the quiz. Oh my goodness, they were on fire. Talk about competition. My goodness, they were competing with each other, and it's like no one would actually realize that it was a lesson. You would think it's something else other than the lesson. They were so excited. One of them said to me, Miss, I'm really competitive. I said, let's see how competitive you are in terms of, what's happening. Oh my goodness, talking about competitive. The lessons were super, super fun. And it actually made me realize that after every topic, I'm going to give them a quiz, although I give them little tests. But as I said today, I told them after, when they finish the exams and when we finish the topics, I'm going to give them, various quiz to see, how they're doing, etc. So it was really, really fantastic. So those were my wins today in terms of the excitement of the student, the competitiveness of the student, the fact that one student actually went on the board and took control and do a mind map to see how much the others know, etc. So that was my aha moment. Excited. It was really, really good. As I keep saying, teaching is not easy, but those are the fun ones. And educators, I want you to find your win in every aspect you do, because there are wins and there are those aha moments and there are those excited moments amidst the challenges we have all the time. Because as I said, in terms of when you have students coming to you with a whole backpack, because you don't know what situation they've had before they come to school, whether or not there were arguments in the family because there is no money, there is no food, all of those things. And these are some of the things as educators we face on a daily basis. Either students have, there's no food in the family or very little food, in terms of money for bus fare, there's no resources. There's so many other issues. Parents have 3 jobs. Like one student was saying to me, she came in to see me yesterday, And she was saying to me, she came and she said, Miss, can I see you? I said, yes, you know, and I'm thinking, oh Lord, because I had to finish doing a topic because I couldn't do it. I had something else to do, but I thought, you know, I need to see the student. And we're just talking about, you know, how she was feeling, that she was anxious and she thinks she suffers from anxiety. And it's like all of that, trying to calm her down, etc., you know. And I tell her, suggesting things she needs to do, like meditation, and then, you know, the topic came up in terms of her mom has 3 jobs, and, you know, she's conscious of that, and she's got other siblings. You know, there's so many issues, and these are common factors as educators we experience on a daily basis. Because remember, students coming from all different areas. So when they actually start connecting with you and engaging, it's a beautiful moment, because, you know, sometimes it's very challenging to teach students when the belly is empty. Because it's like one student said to me today, oh, Miss, I'm just not feeling it, as we're doing the quiz. I said, what's up? Miss, I'm just not feeling it. I said, okay, let's go outside and talk. And there was just a lot of baggages. You know, it's like, even though when you suggest that they go to see the counselor, a lot of them don't want to go to see the counselor because they don't want to tell the counselor their business. And if it is easier for them to tell you, then, you know, you just have to run with that, because it means that they're taking it out of the head and, you know, sharing it with someone else. Something I also said to my student, and I said to all of them, all my students, and I want them to start doing journaling. They need to start journaling, taking it from your head and putting it in the paper. And you guys could do that as well. Taking it from your head and putting it in the paper. You could do 2 things with it. You could put it in a book that every day you just journal, or you could take out things from your head, write it on paper and burn it. And when you burn it, it's like getting rid of it. You know, you wouldn't get rid of it completely because there'll be some remnant, but you get rid of the bulk of it, because you say, you know what, when you take things out of your head, it's no longer so prominent in your head, it's now on the paper. So you write it on the paper and you sit there or you stand and you just watch it burn. You know, all this negative, just let it burn and just get rid of it. It is so easy, because you then start feeling really, really light. So that's something you guys need to do. So as I said, my win was my student, actually one of them taking control of the class and writing on the whiteboard, because she obviously know the topic well enough, so she's teaching it. The other areas I did quiz with the rest of the student today. Even that same group, I did a quiz with them. And like the competitiveness, oh my goodness. At one time I had to say to them, take your time and deep breathe, because they were getting so excited, and it's like the noise. But it was just lovely to see, because that was the topic, sociology and psychology, you know, they were engaging with, because they obviously have learned it. And it's just fantastic. Anyway, I'm grateful for today. I'm grateful for my student letting me experience the joy of them understanding the topic area, because this is week 5, I think. And since I've been there, there's one topic I've been going, because schizophrenia is not an easy topic. And I'm saying to them, it's not easy, but it's enjoyable. And I want you guys to start enjoying it and looking at it from different perspectives. And they've actually understood it. Because, you know, what I did after, you know, asked the student to go around go around the student in class and find out, you know, ask them questions on the topic, and they were all shouting out the answers. And even when we did a quiz, because it was not a quiz that they had to put on paper, it's a quiz they had to, from the head, to shout out. So it was brilliant. You know, in spite of feeling really exhausted, you know, my colleague in the psychology department, we were the 2 teachers that left late from the staff room. When I came back from teaching about 3:10, because teaching finished at 2:50 to 3:10. Two of my colleagues already left. Although they said they were leaving early, they always leave late, you know, normally late. But this one today, when I got there, they had left. And I'm thinking, oh my goodness. And another one, other two said, oh, bye. Oh my goodness. My colleague and I left my colleague there. I left at 4:30. And she was still there because we were trying to do we were trying to set the exam for when we come back for half term. And because the AQA have released a series of topics, the exam question we've identified for the student to do covered most of the topics, but it did not cover all the topics which was released from AQA. So what we had to do, we had to go and find exams, although the exam paper we set for the students, a very recent one, is 2020 or 2021. I think it's 2020. So we had to go and look at past exam papers to incorporate it into the new exam paper now. Because what we're trying to do is make sure that what was released from AQA, we mirror the mock as close as possible to that. So the paper was already sorted, you know. So we had to do, you know, add the extra, and that took so long. You know, it's like trying to find find past exam papers and then trying to identify, oh, it was quite a lot of stuff. You know, so I did most of it. And I just got my, you know, my colleague was just, she was just, you know, putting it together because I printed out, etc. And then she just, you know, it's just cut and paste, etc. So that's what I left her doing. But the fact is I left at 4:30 and she was still there because we were trying to get that off so we could send it off to reprographic. So when we come back after half term, it's there and there is no need to panic, although the exam is 2 weeks after half term. One of the worst things is when you actually, you know, have exams to do and you're trying to find the paper, trying to print the paper. That's what you call mega stress, especially trying to print the paper a week before the mock exams. That's why you call mega stress. So we were not taking any chances. So that's what we decided to do. So in terms of, you know, the time I left in school, it was, you know, later than I anticipated because I've said to them, I am leaving at 3 o'clock. Really? Forget that. You know, so that's some of the issues in terms of, you know, education, etc. Although I have the week off, I'm planning not to do any schoolwork. But then I realized that the students have the mock coming up and I want to tailor some revision specifically for that and give them exam question, teaching them, reminding them how to write essay, you know, 10 markers, etc. So I might have to find some test papers on the system so that I could actually do it with them and, you know, some answers so we could actually go through that. But I'm hoping not to spend too much time on schoolwork. Right, what I'm grateful for today, as I said, I'm grateful for the beauty of my students, you know, demonstrating, not realizing I was there anyway, their understanding of the topic area. So that was my excited and aha moment. And, you know, I said, and we need to celebrate it and dance, etc. And that's what we're doing, you know, because that was really good. So that's one of the things I'm grateful for. I'm grateful for the fact that I'm alive and kicking and able to see and experience my students' understanding of the topic. I'm grateful for my bed because there's sometimes, you know, one of the important things for me is a good night's sleep, even though it's 2 or 3 hours, but, you know, solid sleep. So that's what I'm grateful for. Grateful for my family and friends. And I'm grateful to be here. And I'm really grateful that you all are taking the opportunity to look at what I'm saying, to listen to what I'm saying and tuning in, etc. So I'm really, really grateful for that. And I'm really grateful for you guys who have been supporting me and, you know, following me through and liking some of the things I'm doing, questioning, etc. So I'm really, really, truly grateful for that. So that's one of the things I'm grateful for. I might come to you guys next week. Oh yes, 2 things. I am starting my female educator roundtable on Thursday, oh my goodness, on Friday and Saturday. I'm starting back next week. I took a few weeks off. So I'm looking for female educators to share their journey regarding what it's like teaching during the pandemic and teaching after the pandemic, because for some of us, we're now teaching in the physical face-to-face. We're doing, well, some of us are doing hybrid in terms of face-to-face and online, depending on what's happening. So I'm looking for educators, female educators, to share their journey, what it's been like and what they've taken away from, teaching online. Yeah, a lot of us don't like it because it's very challenging, because you just feel as if you're talking to a screen and no one responds, even though you're encouraging them to talk, they're not saying anything to you. So that's one of the aspects, looking for female educators to share the journey, because one of the most beautiful things is to remember that as educators, you're not on this journey by yourself, because we are all on this journey together, whether or not you're in the Caribbean, you're in Africa, you're in Asia, you're in America, or you're in England, wherever you are, we are sharing very much similar stories, or sometimes it looks so identical, because some of the challenges of online, we all experiencing it. Yes, there's some fantastic aspect of teaching online, oh boy, but there's some aspect you think, Lord have mercy, help me. So these are some of the things that we've actually experienced on the online platform, and it have taught me so much, and it have transformed me as an individual. It's it educated me, because some of the things I had to do when the student fell, they were taking control of the of pulling off my my PowerPoint. I had to learn how to take control of all of that. So there was some anxious moments, but there were some learning moments and some exciting moments. So educators, I would love you to come and share your journey with me, so that we can share it with everybody else, and encourage everybody, educators, that it's okay to mess up, and you guys doing a fantastic job. Celebrate yourself and see what you're doing. You're making a massive impact. Because remember, in everybody's life, there have been an educator. Every profession had an educator to support them or to teach them to get to where they are right now. Right, so my show on Thursday, on Friday and Saturday, and I've also got the other show which I do is home education, looking for parents, carers, whoever is doing who is home educating the children. That's another journey we need to share, because some people think that they cannot home educate the children or the child because they don't know enough, because they're not an educator. Hello, you don't need to be an educator to home educate your child. Both of you could be going on that journey together, right? So don't think that you don't know enough. It doesn't matter. You learn together. One of the beautiful things is learning together, finding out together. Right, so I'm looking for people who are home educating the children for whatever reason, to share the journey, to tell us the reason why you're home educating, because there's some people out there who would love to home educate, but there's the anxiety and the fear of not wanting to do it because they don't feel they're good enough. So it's nice to share those journeys so that people feel that they're not alone and they're good enough to do it. Right? So I'm looking for people for those two shows. There's another show I have on Sunday which is looking at mental health, but I'll talk to you guys about that one later on. I'm deciding whether or not I start that on next week. No, not this weekend, next weekend. So I'm thinking whether or not I should start that next weekend, because I'm writing a program on confidence, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys in the next few weeks. So I'm not too sure whether or not I'm able to do that, because it's quite a lot with added of doing revision with my student, etc. Anyway, guys, as you know, I could talk for England, and I love talking, because as an educator you have to be able to talk. Have a fantastic evening, weekend. Take care of you. Love yourself. When you look in the mirror every day, remind yourself of your beauty. High five yourself in terms of, yes, high five, you're good enough and you're doing a great job. Whether or not you're an educator, whether or not your parents, it doesn't matter. You just have to remember that whatever you're doing, you're good enough. Take care, stay blessed. Love yourself. No one else would love you as you love you. Love starts from within, and in order for you to give it, you have to have it. Take care, stay blessed, and have a wonderful evening. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.